Been a minute since we've had Coach on following a loss, like 3 months. Dan, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Good. Let's start with the mood in the building, right? I mean, losing is not something you guys have had a lot of this season, and now the injuries on top of it. Just where are you guys at in the room right now?
Yeah, I mean we're good. We're trying to get ready for Chicago. You know, after last night, just trying to get up on this tape since that was a late one. And that'll be really 2 games since we played them last. That with kind of the new system in place, new coach, all that defensively, the head coach. So anyway, that's where we're at.
Is it like preparing for a brand new team? Obviously, the players aren't changing, but the system may be a little bit different. The way they're operating different and we'll get back to what happened this weekend. But is it like almost preparing for a brand new team?
Yeah, a little bit it is, because you're trying to get their tendencies. It's not Eberflus' fingerprint on it anymore. I mean, there's still enough of that's there, because you're not going to go away from what was built. The team was built around, or the style they play, or the scheme, things of that nature. However, the way they do it, like we know, last night they're going to try to be aggressive. They're going to use 4 downs. They got nothing to lose, and so we got to be prepared for that. And then just defensively, what they're calling, Eric Washington's calling it on defense now. So just getting up to that, but and we'll get it. We'll have a beat on this team. And be ready to go out there and play those guys.
Dan, I know you don't dwell on the injuries. You've said it's not really worth spending the energy on, but we've had spirited discussions on the show today about if some fans are going, hey, we're grit, we're defiant, we're going to get this done. For those that are questioning it or maybe have some doubts, what would you say to those fans?
Well, let me say this first, man. Anytime you lose players, man, it's hard. And it's, the obvious that everybody sees is, you lose the player and that production and what he's done on the field. But it's more than that to us. It's more to that, the coaches and his teammates. I mean, they bring so much more to the table than just out there running around and trying to make plays. What they bring to the locker room, the laughs you have, the bond you have with those guys. So when you lose a guy like Aleem McNeil, it's a big part of what we do, and Dave Montgomery and Khalil Dorsey and Carlton Davis, man, those hurt. Those hurt, man, and you hate losing guys like that. But at the same time, we got an opportunity. And, I told those guys, and with anybody that's been hurt, no matter Hutch to Kaminsky to all of them, man, this can't be in vain. These injuries that these guys, which all of our guys lay it on the line, but we can't let these injuries be in vain, man. All of those players helped us get to the point we're at. These last 4 helped us get to 12 wins. And we owe it to them to finish this thing out. And that's how I view it. And so it means there's another opportunity for other guys, and look, I don't, what happens is, you win 11 in a row, and you lose, and then the sky falls. And I hate to say it, but we're not going to be able to win 11 in a row again for the rest of this season. We're just not going to be able to do it. And, what happens is you get used to eating filet, and I'm talking to all of us, and everything's good. Life's good, but you forgot what it was like when you had nothing and you ate your fucking molded bread. And it was just fine, and it gave you everything you needed. And sometimes you got to get punched in the mouth and remember what it used to be like to really appreciate where you are. And we'll do that. And so we got a bad taste in our mouth. We got kicked around the other day. We lost a few guys, and you know what? It's exactly what we needed. This is exactly what we needed. So we're going to bounce back. We're going to respond. We got guys that are about to have an unbelievable opportunity here, and we will play the game any way needed to win. We still got a good offense. We got plenty of defensive players. I can go rattle them off right now. We're going to put the best 11 on the field. We're going to freaking cut it loose. We're going to play with our special teams. And I don't give a crap if we got to win by 1 point for the rest of the year. That's what we're going to do. and I'm going to be happy about it. We come out of the game with 50 yards of total offense and we win by 1, you're going to see smiles on my face, I promise you. All right? If it's the other way defensively, we give up 700 yards and we win by 1 point, you're going to see a fucking smile from my ear to ear. All right? I can promise you. So we're going to find a way and we're going to get it done.
So let's talk a little bit more about Sunday. And you said after the Tampa game, 55 passes, that's not a recipe to win. 59 against Buffalo, not a recipe to win. What were the challenges you guys faced in the run game? Why didn't it work?
Yeah, oddly enough, it was one person here, one person there. And, man, the scheme was pretty good. We felt like there was a couple of things we didn't like how we designed them. We put our guys in tough positions, but then after that, it was, man, we've got everything we need on the front side, and then we don't get the backside block, or we're late, we don't get up on the snap count, or it's a receiver here, it's the tight end here, it's the guard here, it's front side here. And it literally, we took turns, one by one making those errors, and before you know it, the game kind of gets to where it's at, and now you're out of the run game completely. Because we ended up down. I mean, we only had 15 rushes, and certainly when you don't rush it good early in those, you're not going to continue to go back to them. It's just hard to do that. So we'll get all that cleaned up. I'm telling you, I'm really not losing sleep over that. I know we'll get those things corrected. Those guys will bounce back, and there again, for the way that thing turned out, we protected well. We really did. We did a solid job of protection. Golf played really well. Guys made plays. It's just we can't put ourselves in that type of hole.
Talking to Lions head coach Dan Campbell today. The onside kick. 12 minutes left. You're not getting enough stops. You want to steal a possession. There was a debate on the show about it. I understand it. You're trying to get an extra possession. Why not an onside kick again at the 8-minute mark? Like, were you second guessing yourself?
Probably,
like, what was the difference? Okay.
Probably should have. I mean, here's what puts a stink on it is when it gets returned down to the 5, and that's not the reality. I mean, that's such a rare. It's not why you're kicking onside kicks for. It's like, okay, worst case scenario, they're going to take it all the way down to the 5. Well, that's a whole different variable you don't think about, and you shouldn't have to think about. It was just he made a hell of a play, he got it down there, but hindsight, I wish I would have gone ahead and done it on the next one.
Obviously, Gibbs' workload, touches probably going to have to go up. Craig Reynolds will probably see more of him. How do you fill the void, the production left by David Montgomery?
Look, Gibbs is going to take on a bigger role here, and he's ready for that. He knows that. He understands it. We'll use him, and the trick is really, maximizing the reps that we use him, but yet not killing him. I mean, he's needed, and he understands that. But we're still going to need some help out of Reynolds and Vaki and those guys, and that'll be the big thing here. But yeah, he's about to go up, and look, he's ready for this, man. He's gotten better and better all season, and now he's our lead horse. He's got to be ready to roll.
Replacing Carlton Davis, is there a consideration to putting Branch back out at corner, or you just don't want to do that because he means so much to you guys as kind of a rover or a safety? Is he someone you'd consider playing more at corner?
Yeah, we're really looking at everything, and this is an ongoing discussion right now. And I'm actually, when I get done here, I'm going to go down there and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. But I mean, we've as of last night, we started to feel pretty good about what we think we may do, and we're really the whole idea is everything that we've got on the roster. From practice squad to, you guys saw we brought Pittman back. He knows our system. We know what he's about. We know he can play special teams and help us on defense in some capacity. But it's really, man, how do we maximize the guys that we have and where do we put them? And that's always going to be a discussion with Branches, man. Okay, where is he going to be most productive? All right. And then where are we going to be helped most defensively with where he's at versus everybody else? And so, they may not be the same answers, and that's where it gets tough. So we're still tinkering with it a little bit, but I feel good with where we're going to go. I really do. And I know it's doom and gloom. We got plenty of weapons now. We got plenty of good defensive players left here. And like I say, we'll play any way we need to, and we'll put our best 11 out there and let them go.
And I know that you mentioned it already in terms of you just got to score one more than the opponent. And if they run for 500 yards, if they get 700 yards of offense, it doesn't matter. You just got to score one more point. How do you get your offense to fixate on what they're doing is enough? And Jared Goff throws for 5 touchdowns, nearly 500 yards, and it's in a loss. How do you prevent them from trying to go outside of their role, of their skill set? Because players want to make plays. They want to win games, but you got to make sure that they're not trying to do more than they're asked to do. How do you prevent against that?
Yeah, you keep telling them that, John. You know, it's a great point. And it's even last week getting into that game. At one point, we were down 21 points. And, you know, I continued to tell Goff, hey, man, don't press it. Just stay the course. Take what's there. This thing will come back around, and you have to play that way. Now, you get the ball in your hands, protect it, all of that. You got to do something with it. But as far as the way we execute, man, we need everybody on point, do exactly what you're coached to do, and then once you get the ball in the hands and you protect it, now let's see if we can do something. And we need guys rallying to the football, finish downfield, block for your teammate. But it's just another emphasis on, man, the first down is the most important thing. First down, then touchdown. First down, then touchdown. And if we do that, man, we can execute at a very high level. And I mentioned before, we can alleviate pressure where needed. We can add a little bit, tinker a little bit, but that's why you play with 3 phases.
Last thing I was going to ask you about was how you get how you address the urgency gap from last week to this week, but I feel like you've kind of already answered that. It sounds like you guys are going to be raring to go when you play Chicago on Sunday.
Urgency will not be an issue this week, I can promise you that. We're going to be ready to roll, man. Our guys are going to walk in the door, and they're going to be hot tomorrow, and they're going to be ready to practice. We're going to get that bad taste out of our mouth, and we're going to go out to Chicago, and we're going to play much better.
Lions head coach Dan Campbell, we appreciate your time. Thanks, Coach.
Dan.